Thank you, Eric. As you can tell by the live images, anti-American chants are erupting across the Middle East. But take a look at the president back in May of last year praising the Arab Spring.
In Cairo, we heard the voice of the young mother who said, "It's like I can finally breathe fresh air for the first time." In Sana'a, we heard the students who chanted, "The night must come to an end." In Benghazi, we heard the engineer who said, "Our words are free now. It's a feeling you can't explain." Those shouts of human dignity are being heard across the region.
And now those shouts have turned into anti-Americanism. Those same countries that the U.S. supported the rise of democracy, without which democracy would not have risen, there's apparently still such hatred for America. How does that make sense, I ask?
Let's ask Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. He's the founder and president of American Islamic Forum for Democracy and author of A Battle for the Soul of Islam. Good to see you again, Doctor. So is it the case that this is just a small faction of people uprising in these countries and that the majority of the people in these countries want democracy, or is it something else?
Well, I think it's sort of a mix of everything. You know, there's a lot of chaos as the Middle East is transforming. I certainly wouldn't transpose the Arab Spring with what happened last year with what's happening today. Today, I think, is a product of us having weakness when we present ourselves to the Middle East. The strong horse usually wins. My family came from that culture in Syria, and I'll tell you, many of these mobs, the thugs in control, use rent-a-mobs to get people out there to try to rally their core constituency. And right now, with the Brotherhood in control in Egypt, for days on Egyptian media, they were talking about this movie that had been out for 2 months, but they used it as a tool to rally their base, and all of a sudden it sort of blew up in their face and became more radical, and now they're trying to sort of backpedal that. And I think we've been missing in action. We've let them define who we are as America, and we have a lot of time to make up. You remember, we were the allies we considered our allies were their oppressors for many decades, and it's going to take us some time to start to regain the credibility that we're working with those on the ground. We want to help the liberals, help the reformists, the real ones that wanted to change the Middle East, not the ones, the radicals that are in the streets today.
Well, I'll tell you what, it makes me yearn for the days that Mubarak was in charge. They weren't trying to wreck our embassy and cross the wire when he was there, nor was the dictator in Yemen. He had found a way to protect our embassy. You know, as Americans, we're throwing these guys money, we're helping them get some freedom, and instead we're the target of their attacks. I mean, how do you expect us to process that, Doctor?
Well, again, I think we need to completely reboot our strategy, or have a strategy in the Middle East, which is to help the liberals, to help the women's movement, not to abandon the Green Revolution in 2009 in Iran. And I think we have to be careful when we say that we wish we had the dictators. I mean, that makes us lose credibility, because Mubarak was a thug who oppressed his people.
Right.
But certainly we did have better relations than with the Islamists, who will be worse. So we have to have a new strategy, that we have a doctrine, a liberty doctrine, that we say we're going to help those on the ground. And we have to start having like a radio-free Egypt, radio-free, you know, Middle East, that we start pushing the ideas of liberty to regain the credibility that we actually want freedom for them, and not just sort of abandon them.
All right. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, who is a Muslim American, thanks so much for your thoughts this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.